Imagine finding yourself in a maze where each turn defies logic and every clue seems more unbelievable than the last. What if I told you that this story will make you question everything you think you know about the truth? Welcome to the case with the most insane twist you've ever heard. Tonight, we'll unravel a mystery so intricate, so perplexing, that it will leave you on the edge of your seat. From unexpected betrayals to mind-bending revelations, each twist in this tale will challenge your understanding of reality itself. Stick around till the end, because just when you think you've got it all figured out, the story will take another unbelievable turn. Don't miss a second of this dark, mysterious journey that will keep you guessing until the very last moment. The story begins in the serene yet eerie town of Ravenswood, nestled deep in the woods, untouched by the modern rush of the outside world. It's the late autumn of 1994, and the air is thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. The leaves have turned to shades of orange and brown, carpeting the ground in a blanket of rustling whispers. The town is small, with cobblestone streets and Victorian-style houses that stand like sentinels from another era. The people of Ravenswood are as mysterious as the town itself, with secrets hidden behind every closed door and drawn curtain. Our main character, Emily Carter, a young journalist with a relentless curiosity, has just arrived in Ravenswood to investigate a series of unexplained events that have gripped the town in a vice of fear and intrigue. Emily, with her sharp instincts and determined nature, is drawn to Ravenswood by reports of strange disappearances, whispered rumors of ghostly apparitions, and a chilling legend that dates back centuries. Little does she know, her arrival will set off a chain of events that will unravel the town's darkest secrets and entangle her in a web of mystery that defies all logic. As Emily steps off the bus and feels the cold breeze brush against her skin, she senses that Ravenswood is no ordinary town and that her journey here will be unlike any she has ever undertaken. With her notebook in hand and a steely resolve, Emily is ready to uncover the truth, no matter where it leads her. So, gather close and let the shadows of Ravenswood welcome you into a story full of twists that will challenge your perception of reality as we follow Emily Carter into the heart of the unknown. The second practice involves Emily checking into the only inn in town, a quaint, ivy-covered structure run by a woman named Mrs. Thornton. The inn, with its antique decor and creaky wooden floors, feels like a relic from another time. As Emily settles into her room, she notices a few peculiarities, like the room's old-fashioned key instead of a modern card, and the faint but persistent scent of lavender that seems to follow her everywhere. These details appear trivial, but they harbor greater significance. The next morning, she embarks on her investigation by visiting the Ravenswood Historical Society. There, she meets Mr. Alastair, the town's elderly historian, who seems both knowledgeable and oddly evasive when questioned about the town's past. He hands her a dusty ledger filled with records of the town dating back to the 1800s. Among the neatly written entries, Emily finds mentions of the same family names appearing over generations, hinting at an intricate web of bloodlines. She also stumbles upon accounts of sudden disappearances and unexplained phenomena, described in such detail that they send chills down her spine. As Emily peruses the records, she notices a recurring symbol, a cryptic emblem like a twisted vine with an eye at its center, etched into the margins of the pages. Mr. Alastair brushes off her inquiries about it, attributing it to the doodlings of a former librarian. Despite his dismissive attitude, Emily feels an uncanny connection between this symbol and the town's mysteries. Before leaving, she makes a quick note of the emblem and the pages bearing the most unusual entries. Little does she know, these clues will piece together a puzzle beyond her wildest imagination. As the day turns to dusk, Emily decides to visit the local pub to gather more information from the townsfolk. The pub, named the Whispering Pines, is a dimly lit establishment filled with the murmurs of locals and the clinking of glasses. Here she meets a man named Jack, a reclusive artist who has lived in Ravenswood his entire life. Jack mentions seeing strange lights in the woods at night and hearing whispers carried by the wind, whispers that always seem to start and end with the same word, Raven. Intrigued but skeptical, Emily takes note of his story, all while feeling an inexplicable sense of being watched. With her investigation gaining momentum, Emily returns to the inn, unaware that these seemingly benign encounters and clues are pieces to a much larger, more sinister puzzle that will soon unravel before her eyes. The third practice involves Emily meeting a seemingly unrelated character who will later play a crucial role in unraveling the mystery. As she sits in the Whispering Pines, her attention is drawn to a young woman sitting alone at a corner table, engrossed in an old, leather-bound book. Her name is Laura Whittaker, and she is a librarian at the Ravenswood Historical Society. Laura seems out of place with her modern attire and an air of quiet determination, contrasting sharply with the town's old-world charm. Emily decides to introduce herself, sensing that Laura might hold valuable insights. Laura is initially wary but gradually opens up, sharing that she has been researching the town's history for years, driven by a personal mission to uncover the truth behind her family's mysterious past. She reveals that her great-grandmother vanished under inexplicable circumstances, leaving behind cryptic diary entries that mention the same twisted vine emblem with an eye that Emily found in the ledger. Laura hints that the emblem is connected to an ancient secret society rumored to have influenced the town's destiny for generations. However, she warns Emily to tread carefully, as those who delve too deeply into Ravenswood's secrets often face dire consequences. As their conversation unfolds, Emily realizes that Laura's research might be more significant than either of them initially thought. They exchange contact information, agreeing to collaborate and share their findings. This partnership sets the stage for a deeper exploration into the sinister forces at play in Ravenswood. As Emily leaves the pub, a sense of urgency propels her forward, knowing that Laura might be the key to unlocking the town's darkest secrets. Unbeknownst to both women, their paths are more intertwined than they could ever imagine, and Laura's seemingly unrelated subplot will soon reveal its true importance in the unfolding mystery. The first twist involves Emily deciding to visit the town's old chapel, a site often mentioned in the historical records she had examined. The chapel, located at the edge of Ravenswood, stands as a weathered monument to the town's deep-seated history. As she steps inside, the musty air and dim light filtering through stained glass windows create an eerie atmosphere. Emily notices a series of old portraits lining the walls, each depicting past town leaders, all wearing stern expressions. However, one portrait catches her eye. Unlike the others, it portrays a man with an enigmatic smile, a man whose face seems oddly familiar. Intrigued, Emily inspects the plaque beneath the portrait and is stunned to read the name Thomas Carter. Her own surname, Thomas Carter, it turns out, was one of the town's founding figures, but his story is shrouded in mystery. As Emily delves deeper, she discovers that Thomas Carter had abruptly vanished without a trace, much like the other strange disappearances throughout the town's history. This revelation sends a chill down her spine. Could there be a connection between her own lineage and the town's sinister past? Emily's discovery suggests that her journey to Ravenswood might not be as coincidental as she initially thought. She quickly takes a photo of the portrait and notes down everything she finds about Thomas Carter. With this unexpected twist in her investigation, Emily feels an unsettling mix of dread and determination. Her curiosity is piqued, and she senses that uncovering the truth about Thomas Carter may be central to unraveling the town's darkest secrets. As she leaves the chapel, the weight of her newfound knowledge presses heavily on her mind, and she can't shake the feeling that she's being watched. Emily's connection to Ravenswood is now more personal than ever, setting the stage for her next steps in this baffling and intricate web of mystery. The third twist involves Emily's realization that her interactions with Laura Whittaker may hold the key to uncovering the deeper mysteries of Ravenswood. As they exchange their findings, Emily stumbles upon a striking coincidence. Laura's great-grandmother and Thomas Carter were both listed in the same family records, suggesting a hidden connection between their ancestries. This shared lineage adds a layer of complexity to the town's enigmatic past. Determined to understand the significance, Emily and Laura decide to work together more closely, combining their research. They discover cryptic passages in Laura's great-grandmother's diary that reference secret meetings held in the same chapel Emily visited. These passages describe rituals performed by the ancient secret society mentioned by Laura, with a twisted vine emblem featuring prominently in their rites. One entry stands out, warning of dire consequences for outsiders probing too deeply into the society's secrets. As they dig deeper, Emily and Laura realize that the society may still be active, influencing the town from the shadows. This revelation brings a new urgency to their investigation, as both women begin to feel the creeping sense of being watched and potential danger lurking around every corner. One evening, as they share their findings at the Whispering Pines, an elderly man named Samuel approaches them, claiming to have information about the society. He speaks in hushed tones, revealing that he once served as a groundskeeper for the chapel and witnessed several secret meetings held under the cover of night. According to Samuel, the society's influence extends far beyond the town's history, affecting the present in ways they could never imagine. He warns Emily and Laura to tread carefully, as their pursuit of the truth could draw the society's wrath. Samuel's revelations propel Emily and Laura into a race against time to uncover the society's current members and their true agenda before it's too late. As they leave the pub, Emily and Laura's partnership grows stronger, their individual quests now inextricably linked. With the town's secrets unfolding before them, the stakes are higher than ever, and the line between friend and foe becomes increasingly blurred. Unbeknownst to them, their actions have set into motion a chain of events that will unravel the heart of Ravenswood's darkest secrets, revealing connections that span generations and challenging their perceptions of reality itself. The introduction of this pivotal event involves the sudden disappearance of Laura Whittaker. Emily realizes something is wrong when Laura fails to show up for their scheduled meeting at the Ravenswood Historical Society. Alarmed, she rushes to Laura's home but finds it eerily empty with no signs of struggle. Laura's belongings are intact, yet her favorite book, the leather-bound one she was always engrossed in, is missing. This inexplicable vanishing sends a wave of dread through Emily, making her aware of the imminent danger and heightening the stakes of their investigation. In a town as small and tight-knit as Ravenswood, a person's sudden absence doesn't go unnoticed. Emily reports the disappearance to Sheriff Thompson, a stern but fair man who has lived in Ravenswood his entire life. He assures Emily that he will look into it, but she can sense his skepticism, as if he is wary of stirring the town's murky waters. Determined not to lose momentum, Emily retraces Laura's last known steps, seeking any clues that might reveal her friend's fate. She visits the Whispering Pines, where the bartender tells her that Laura was last seen leaving the pub with an unknown man in a dark coat. This clue adds to the already perplexing nature of the case, making Emily suspect that Laura's deepening research into the secret society may have triggered her disappearance. As Emily digs deeper, she uncovers disturbing connections between Laura's research and the town's ancient secrets. Mysterious symbols similar to the twisted vine emblem start appearing more frequently, not just in historical records but also in present-day locations around town. This pervasive presence of the emblem hints at a network of influence and control far more organized and sinister than Emily had anticipated. The sense of being watched intensifies, and Emily can't shake the feeling that she is being followed. She decides to confront Mr. Alastair again, hoping the historian might reluctantly reveal more about the society. However, this time he is visibly agitated and warns Emily that her persistence is dangerous. His cryptic comments about forces beyond our understanding only deepen the mystery. That night, Emily finds a note slipped under the door of her room at the inn. It simply reads, "Stop looking or you will be next." The handwriting is unfamiliar, but the threat is clear. The disappearance of Laura and the anonymous warning serve to raise the stakes to a new, perilous level. Emily's investigation is no longer a quest for answers. It has become a fight for survival. Her resolve is tested, but she knows she can't give up now, not when she is so close to uncovering the truth. As she prepares for whatever comes next, Emily is acutely aware that time is running out and the dangers are closing in. The mystery of Ravenswood is unraveling, but the more she uncovers, the more perilous her path becomes. The first suspect involves a man named Gregory Hawthorne, a local shop owner who has always been somewhat of an enigma to the residents of Ravenswood. Gregory's antique shop is filled with peculiar artifacts and dusty tomes, many of which seem out of place in such a small town. He is known for his reclusive nature and the way he always seems to know more about the town's history than anyone else. Emily first hears about Gregory from one of the townsfolk at the Whispering Pines, who mentioned seeing him in the woods late at night, near where the strange lights had been spotted. Intrigued and slightly suspicious, Emily decides to pay Gregory a visit. Upon entering his shop, she is struck by the eeriness of the place. The dim lighting and the heavy scent of old books create an atmosphere that is both captivating and unsettling. Gregory himself is a tall, gaunt man with piercing blue eyes that seem to see right through her. He greets Emily politely but with an air of guardedness. As they talk, Emily asks him about his knowledge of the town's history and the mysterious disappearances. Gregory's answers are vague, and he often deflects her questions with cryptic remarks. However, when she mentions the twisted vine emblem, she notices a flicker of recognition in his eyes, quickly masked by a neutral expression. This reaction makes Emily even more suspicious. She decides to subtly probe further by bringing up Laura's recent disappearance. Gregory's demeanor changes slightly. He becomes more tense and evasive. He claims to have no knowledge of Laura's whereabouts, but mentions that he has seen strangers around town who might be involved in the recent events. Despite his attempts to appear indifferent, Emily catches glimpses of anxiety in his behavior. Her suspicions are further aroused when she spots a large, ornate chest behind the counter, which bears a carving of the twisted vine emblem. Gregory catches her glancing at the chest and quickly shifts to block her view, offering a flimsy excuse about its contents being private. This interaction raises more red flags for Emily. She leaves the shop with a growing certainty that Gregory is hiding something significant. As she walks back to the inn, she contemplates the various pieces of information she has gathered about him. His odd behavior, his knowledge of the town's secrets, his presence in the woods at night, and his visible reaction to the emblem. These clues make him a compelling suspect in the strange events plaguing Ravenswood. However, Emily is aware that in mysteries like this, appearances can be deceiving. While Gregory seems guilty, she knows she must remain cautious and consider all possibilities. Gregory Hawthorne's enigmatic presence and suspicious behavior place him at the top of Emily's list of suspects, but whether he is truly involved or merely a red herring remains to be seen. The new evidence involves Emily discovering an ancient map hidden within the pages of one of the dusty tomes she borrowed from Laura's collection. This map, drawn in faded ink, depicts Ravenswood but marks locations that do not appear on any contemporary maps of the town. One of the marked locations is an obscure area in the woods far from the well-trodden paths. Intrigued and driven by a need to decipher this mystery, Emily sets out to explore the area marked on the map. As she ventures deeper into the woods, the atmosphere grows thicker and more oppressive, with an unnatural silence that seems to swallow her every step. She finally reaches the marked spot, a small clearing that appears unremarkable at first glance. However, upon closer inspection, Emily finds a hidden trapdoor covered by layers of leaves and dirt. With some effort, she manages to pry it open, revealing a narrow staircase leading underground. Her heart races as she descends the stairs, her flashlight casting eerie shadows on the damp stone walls. At the bottom, she discovers a small underground chamber that seems to serve as a meeting place. The walls are adorned with the twisted vine emblem, and an old wooden table stands in the center, covered in papers, books, and various artifacts. Emily's eyes are drawn to a particularly old book that lies open on the table. The pages are filled with handwritten notes and diagrams that reference the secret society Laura had mentioned. As she scans the pages, she finds a list of names that includes both Thomas Carter and Laura's great-grandmother, suggesting they were members of or had interactions with the society. This discovery contradicts her previous assumption that they were merely victims of the society's actions. The new evidence suggests that her ancestors were deeply involved in the town's darkest secrets. Confused and driven by a need for answers, Emily takes photos of the pages and quickly leaves the underground chamber, carefully recovering the trapdoor to avoid drawing attention. Back at the inn, she pores over the photos and cross-references the new information with the documents she has already collected. Her mind races as she tries to piece together the puzzle. The names in the book indicate that the society wasn't just a shadowy group pulling strings from behind the scenes. Its influence was woven into the very fabric of the town's history. This revelation creates more confusion and raises new questions. Was Laura's disappearance connected to her great-grandmother's involvement in the society? Were the leaders of the society protecting a secret so powerful that they would go to any lengths to keep it hidden? And most disturbingly, could Emily's own family have played a role in these dark affairs? As these questions swirl in her mind, Emily realizes that this new direction in her investigation has opened up a labyrinth of possibilities. Her conviction strengthens as she resolves to uncover the full extent of the society's influence and how it ties into the current events in Ravenswood. However, this newfound direction also makes her acutely aware of the increasing danger she faces. The more she uncovers, the more she becomes a target for those who wish to keep the town's secrets buried. This new evidence propels Emily further down the path of uncertainty, but with it comes a renewed determination to reveal the truth, no matter where it leads her. The introduction of a surprise witness involves Emily receiving a mysterious letter at the inn. The letter, written in elegant handwriting, contains an address and a simple message: "For the truth, seek me here at midnight." Intrigued and wary, Emily decides to follow the lead, knowing that this could be the break she needs in her investigation. As the clock strikes midnight, she arrives at the address, a rundown cottage on the outskirts of town. The door creaks open, revealing an elderly woman named Agnes, who invites her inside. Agnes seems frail, but her eyes shine with a sharp intellect. She immediately reveals that she has been expecting Emily. Agnes claims to be one of the last living members of the secret society, now disillusioned and isolated from the group. She explains that she was once deeply involved but chose to distance herself after witnessing the society's increasing malevolence and manipulation. Her conscience couldn't bear the weight of the secrets they protected and the lengths they went to preserve them. She hands Emily a bundle of old letters and documents, each filled with incriminating evidence about the society's actions over the years, including the orchestrated disappearances and the manipulation of town events. Among the documents is a letter that implicates several prominent town figures, including some Emily had never suspected. Agnes discloses a critical piece of information. The society's ultimate goal is to control the town's destiny by any means necessary, and anyone who stands in their way is considered a threat. She warns Emily that her investigation has made her a target and advises her to leave Ravens, Ravenswood while she still can. However, Agnes also provides a crucial clue about the society's next meeting, set to take place in 2 days at the old chapel. This meeting, she believes, will reveal the current members and their plans. Emily, armed with this new information, feels a mix of fear and determination. She thanks Agnes and promises to use the evidence wisely. As she leaves the cottage, she knows that the stakes have never been higher. She must decide whether to heed Agnes's warning and flee or confront the society head-on, risking everything to uncover the truth and put an end to their reign of terror. This surprise witness and the new information she provides add layers of complexity to the case, making Emily's next steps even more perilous and crucial. The second twist involves Emily discovering that the entire series of events unfolding in Ravenswood has been orchestrated by none other than Mrs. Thornton, the seemingly kind innkeeper. After finding a hidden room behind a bookshelf in her inn, Emily stumbles upon a collection of town artifacts, including old photographs, documents, and personal items belonging to the missing townsfolk. Among these items, she finds a detailed journal written by Mrs. Thornton herself. The journal reveals that Mrs. Thornton is the matriarch of the ancient secret society and has been manipulating events from behind the scenes for decades. It turns out that Mrs. Thornton had carefully orchestrated Emily's arrival in Ravenswood, knowing about her family ties and exploiting her journalistic curiosity to further the society's agenda. Emily reads in horror as the journal describes how Mrs. Thornton, through a network of loyal members, orchestrated disappearances, silenced dissenters, and maintained a tight grip on the town's secrets to protect their dark legacy. The journal also discloses that Mrs. Thornton arranged for Laura Whittaker's disappearance to serve as a warning to Emily, ensuring she would not dig too deeply. This revelation changes everything for Emily. The kindly innkeeper whom she trusted and turned to for comfort is actually the puppet master behind Ravenswood's darkest secrets. Emily realizes that her every move has been monitored, and her investigation has been guided to uncover only what Mrs. Thornton wanted her to see. This stunning twist flips the entire narrative, revealing that the danger is much closer than Emily ever imagined. The sense of betrayal and danger heightens as Emily understands that her quest for truth has been manipulated from the start, and now she must outwit the very person who has been controlling her steps. This newfound knowledge propels Emily into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, where she must not only uncover the full extent of the society's influence, but also protect herself from their omnipresent reach. As she carefully plans her next move, Emily's sense of reality is upended, and the true scope of the conspiracy in Ravenswood leaves her in a state of shock and determination. The new suspect involves a man named Malcolm Blackwood, a former detective who moved to Ravenswood after being disgraced in his previous job for allegedly falsifying evidence. Malcolm now works as a private investigator, and his interest in the town's mysteries has made him a figure of both suspicion and curiosity. Emily first learns about Malcolm from the bartender at the Whispering Pines, who mentions Malcolm's reputation for digging into affairs that others prefer left buried. Intrigued, Emily decides to seek him out, wondering if his insights could provide a fresh perspective on the tangled web of Ravenswood's secrets. She finds Malcolm in his cluttered office, a small room filled with case files, photographs, and a distinct smell of stale coffee. He is a man in his late 40s with sharp features and a weary look in his grey eyes. Despite his rough exterior, there is a keen intelligence in his gaze. Emily introduces herself and explains her situation. Malcolm listens intently before agreeing to share what he knows, though his tone carries a hint of cynicism. He begins by recounting his own journey to Ravenswood, describing how he was drawn to the town's enigmatic allure after his career in law enforcement imploded. Unlike many of the townsfolk, Malcolm isn't afraid to speak openly about the sinister undercurrents he perceives in Ravenswood. He reveals that he has been independently investigating the secret society for years, driven by a mix of professional curiosity and a desire for redemption. Malcolm tells Emily about the various symbols he has documented around town, including the twisted vine emblem and his encounters with its members, who he describes as shadowy figures operating within a strict hierarchy. His findings suggest that the society's influence is deeply entrenched in the town's governance, economy, and even its culture. One particularly chilling detail he shares is that he believes the society has a way of blackmailing or coercing individuals into compliance, using methods ranging from financial ruin to threats against loved ones. Malcolm also mentions a personal stake in the matter. He confides that during his early days in Ravenswood, he fell in love with a woman named Margaret, who vanished under mysterious circumstances after attempting to expose the society's activities. Her disappearance has haunted him ever since, fueling his relentless pursuit of the truth. Emily is struck by Malcolm's raw honesty and the parallels between their quests. She realizes that his experiences and insights could be invaluable to her own investigation. Despite his jaded outlook, Malcolm agrees to help Emily, warning her that once she goes down this path, there is no turning back. As they collaborate, Emily learns to value Malcolm's skeptical yet thorough approach, and their partnership injects a new layer of depth into her pursuit of Ravenswood's darkest secrets. Malcolm's background as a disgraced detective adds complexity to his character, making him both a suspect in the eyes of some and an indispensable ally in Emily's eyes. Together, they form an unlikely duo determined to uncover the society's true motives and unravel the town's century-old conspiracies, even as the shadows around them grow darker and more threatening. The main character, Emily, feels an overwhelming rush of emotions following this revelation. Betrayal, anger, and disbelief swirl inside her, but she knows she must keep a clear head to navigate the perilous situation she's found herself in. She takes a deep breath, steeling herself for what comes next. Her first instinct is to confront Mrs. Thornton, but she quickly realizes that this would be too dangerous, as the innkeeper is likely to have control over the inn and its surroundings. Instead, Emily decides to play it cool and pretend that she hasn't uncovered the truth just yet. She returns to her room, feigning normalcy, and begins to formulate a plan. She discreetly packs a bag with essential items, ready to make a quick escape if necessary. She also takes photographs of the incriminating evidence from Mrs. Thornton's journal, ensuring she has multiple copies stored in various locations as a precaution. Emily reaches out to Laura's former contacts in the Historical Society, hoping they might have information that could help her understand more about the Society's current members and motives. She meets with Malcolm Blackwood to share her findings, knowing that his investigative skills and background in law enforcement could be invaluable. Malcolm's reaction is one of grim understanding. He has long suspected that someone of significant influence was pulling the strings. Together, they devise a strategy to gather more intelligence on the Society's activities without raising suspicion. Emily decides to attend the secret society meeting at the old chapel, as Agnes suggested. She knows it's risky, but the potential rewards are too great to ignore. Malcolm agrees to provide backup from a distance, using his experience as a detective to ensure they are not caught off guard. As the night of the meeting approaches, Emily feels a mix of fear and determination. She knows they are walking into the lion's den, but is resolute in her quest to expose the Society's malevolent grip on Ravenswood. Their plan is simple yet dangerous. Emily will infiltrate the meeting disguised as a member of the Society, while Malcolm will keep watch outside, ready to act if things go awry. Emily's mind races with the countless possibilities and outcomes. She mentally prepares herself for whatever she might witness, understanding that the next few hours could change everything. When the night arrives, Emily skillfully dons a disguise she pieced together from observations of other Society members' attire. Her heart pounds as she makes her way through the dark, silent streets of Ravenswood. She slips into the chapel, blending in with the crowd, her eyes scanning for familiar faces and potential threats. As the ceremony begins, Emily's anxiety mounts. The twisted vine emblem is prominently displayed, and she recognizes several town figures among the attendees. Her suspicions are confirmed when she sees Mrs. Thornton presiding over the proceedings with a commanding presence. Emily listens intently, noting every detail, every whispered conversation, and every suspicious glance. The society's agenda is even more sinister than she had imagined, involving plans to exert even greater control over the town's inhabitants and eliminate any threats to their power. Suddenly, a loud noise from outside the chapel causes a stir among the members. Emily's heart races as she realizes Malcolm might have been discovered. She takes advantage of the commotion to slip away unnoticed, rendezvousing with Malcolm in their predetermined safe spot. Relieved but shaken, they recount their findings and decide that the next step is to gather irrefutable evidence and present it to the authorities. Emily knows this won't be easy, especially with Mrs. Thornton's influence, but she is more determined than ever to bring the society to justice and free Ravenswood from its sinister grip. With the stakes higher than ever, Emily and Malcolm prepare for the final stages of their investigation, knowing that every move they make from this point forward must be calculated and precise. They are now in a race against time, working to stay one step ahead of the society while uncovering the full extent of its dark and tangled web. The dramatic event involves the sudden reappearance of Laura Whittaker. As Emily and Malcolm prepare their next move, they receive an urgent message from the bartender at the Whispering Pines. Laura has been found disoriented and injured, wandering near the edge of the forest. Rushing to her side, Emily is overwhelmed with relief but also a deep sense of foreboding. Laura's return is unexpected and raises numerous questions. Laura, weakened and shaken, struggles to recount her ordeal. She reveals that she was abducted by members of the secret society and held in an underground facility hidden deep within the forest. During her captivity, she overheard crucial conversations that shed light on the true purpose of the society. They are not just a group seeking control over Ravenswood, they are guarding a powerful artifact believed to grant immense power to its possessor. This artifact, referenced in her great-grandmother's diary, holds the key to understanding the town's history and the society's sinister influence. Laura managed to escape when a faction within the society, opposed to their leader's extreme methods, helped her flee. Laura's revelation ties back to the subplot involving her great-grandmother and the twisted vine emblem. Her great-grandmother had been part of a rebellion within the society, attempting to use the artifact for the greater good, but was silenced before she could succeed. This ancient conflict remains unresolved, with the artifact's power at the center of the struggle. Emily realizes that their investigation is now not only about exposing the society, but also about preventing the misuse of this dangerous artifact. With this newfound information, Emily, Malcolm, and Laura form an urgent plan. They must locate the artifact before Mrs. Thornton and her loyalists can use it to cement their control over Ravenswood. Every piece of the puzzle they have gathered now points to a final confrontation, one that will determine the town's future. The stakes are higher than ever, and the true significance of the subplot is revealed as they race against time to uncover the artifact's location and thwart the society's plans. The new twist involves the startling revelation that the ancient artifact Laura mentioned does not grant immense power but rather serves as a seal containing a dark and malevolent force. Emily, Malcolm, and Laura discover this shocking truth while poring over the last remaining pages of Laura's great-grandmother's diary, which had been hidden away in a locked drawer at the Ravenswood Historical Society. These pages detail the efforts of a secret group within the society who, centuries ago, managed to trap an otherworldly entity within the artifact to protect the town and possibly the world. They realize that the twisted vine emblem symbolizes not the society's power, but their eternal vigilance in keeping this dark force imprisoned. This revelation turns everything on its head. Instead of seeking to harness the artifact's power, Mrs. Thornton and the society's loyalists aim to release the entity, believing they can control it to their benefit. The so-called extreme methods mentioned by Laura were actually attempts to summon this entity. Fear courses through Emily as she comprehends the full gravity of the situation. The society's rituals, the disappearances, and the town's eerie atmosphere all point to preparations for this catastrophic event. The true purpose of the secret society has always been about their misguided belief in using this imprisoned force to reshape the world according to their whims. Emily, Malcolm, and Laura now face an even greater urgency. They must prevent the society from succeeding in their final ritual, which is set to take place at the old chapel during the next full moon, just 2 nights away. This twist challenges everything Emily has believed about the town and the society's intentions. The artifact, once thought to be a source of power, is actually a key to unimaginable darkness. The stakes have never been higher, and failure to stop the society could spell doom far beyond the boundaries of Ravenswood. This unexpected turn in their investigation forces the trio to reconsider all their strategies and alliances. They must now seek out every bit of arcane knowledge and every possible ally to thwart a plan that has been centuries in the making. Emily's journey becomes not just a fight to uncover the truth, but a desperate battle to save the town and possibly the world from an ancient evil lurking just beneath the surface. The fallout from this latest twist involves a palpable shift in the trio's emotions and strategy. Emily, Malcolm, and Laura are thrown into a whirlwind of fear, urgency, and determination. The revelation that the artifact is actually a seal for a malevolent entity sends shivers down their spines, knowing that the stakes have escalated to a life and death scenario not just for Ravenswood but potentially for the entire world. This newfound knowledge adds an immense weight to their mission, intensifying their resolve to prevent the ritual at all costs. Emily feels a sense of betrayal and horror, realizing the true nature of the artifact and the society's sinister plans. She knows they must act swiftly but also smartly, as any misstep could hasten the release of the dark force. Malcolm, drawing on his investigative experience, methodically outlines their next steps, emphasizing the need to gather more allies and information on the ritual. Despite his hardened exterior, the gravity of the situation ignites a spark of renewed purpose in him. Laura, still recovering from her ordeal, channels her fear and anger into a fierce determination to honor her great-grandmother's legacy and protect Ravenswood. The trio decides to split up temporarily to cover more ground. Emily returns to the Ravenswood Historical Society to dig deeper into historical records that might reveal weaknesses in the society's plan. Malcolm heads to the Whispering Pines to rally support and gather intelligence from the townsfolk who might have knowledge of the society's activities. Laura, too weak to join the physical search, focuses on translating the remaining cryptic passages in her great-grandmother's diary, hoping to uncover any hidden clues about thwarting the ritual. As they each pursue their tasks, the tension is palpable. Emily fights a growing sense of dread as she sifts through ancient manuscripts, uncovering references to similar rituals in other parts of the world that ended in disaster. She feels a heavy burden knowing the fate of many rests on their shoulders. Malcolm faces skepticism and fear from the townsfolk, many of whom are either unaware of the society's true nature or too afraid to oppose it. Nevertheless, he manages to gather a small group of willing allies, including Samuel, the former groundskeeper, who offers invaluable insights into the society's inner workings. Laura pieces together fragments of her great-grandmother's notes, discovering references to protective wards and counter-rituals that could potentially neutralize the society's efforts. Her findings offer a glimmer of hope, but the complexity and ancient language of the texts present a formidable challenge. As the full moon approaches, the trio reconvenes to share their findings and formulate a final plan. The sense of camaraderie and mutual trust strengthens, knowing they must work as a cohesive unit to outmaneuver the society. They decide to use the protective wards Laura discovered to create barriers around the chapel, hoping to disrupt the ritual's energy flow. Emily and Malcolm will infiltrate the chapel during the ritual, aiming to capture crucial evidence and, if possible, stop the ceremony directly. Samuel and the handful of allies Malcolm gathered will create distractions to divert the society's attention and weaken their defenses. Laura, despite her weakened state, insists on joining them at the chapel, bringing with her the translated notes and a resolve to see the mission through. The night of the full moon arrives and the air is thick with tension. As they make their way to the chapel, the trio is acutely aware that failure is not an option. The fallout from the latest twist has not only deepened their understanding of the society's true intentions, but also fortified their resolve to face the danger head-on. With the very fabric of reality at stake, Emily, Malcolm, and Laura prepare to confront the dark force threatening to engulf Ravenswood, armed with their newfound knowledge, a hastily assembled plan, and an unyielding determination to protect the town and prevent global catastrophe. The fourth twist involves Emily uncovering a hidden relationship that changes the dynamics of the case entirely. While examining the old documents and photographs that Laura's great-grandmother meticulously collected, Emily discovers a letter that had been overlooked before. The letter is addressed to Thomas Carter and is written in the same elegant handwriting she had seen in the mysterious note directing her to Agnes's cottage. The contents of the letter reveal a shocking secret. Thomas Carter and Mrs. Thornton were once deeply connected, not just as town-founding figures, but as lovers. They had a child together whose existence was kept hidden to protect them from the society's machinations. This child is none other than Gregory Hawthorne, the enigmatic shop owner who Emily had already been suspicious of. The letter explains that Thomas and Mrs. Thornton were part of the secret society, but they intended to dismantle it from within. However, their plans were thwarted, and Thomas was forced to disappear to protect his family. Mrs. Thornton, heartbroken and filled with a need to protect their son, continued to outwardly support the society while secretly attempting to subvert it. This revelation casts Mrs. Thornton in a new light. Her manipulative actions now seem driven by a desperate attempt to keep Gregory safe, even if it meant orchestrating events from the shadows. Emily realizes that Mrs. Thornton's dual role made her both a pawn and a player in the society's games. This newfound understanding complicates Emily's perception of who the true enemy is. She confronts Gregory with the letters and demands answers. Gregory, initially wary, breaks down and corroborates the story. He admits that he has been aware of his heritage for years and has been torn between loyalty to his mother and his own moral compass. He reveals that his nightly wanderings in the woods were attempts to find the artifact and end the society's influence, driven by a desire to honor his father's legacy and his mother's hidden struggles. Gregory's confession adds an unexpected ally to Emily's cause. He provides crucial information about the society's inner workings and the location of hidden passageways beneath the town that could be used to infiltrate the chapel. With Gregory's help, the trio's plan gains a new layer of sophistication. The emotional weight of this revelation bonds Emily, Malcolm, Laura, and Gregory in a shared purpose. They must now navigate this complex web of personal histories and societal machinations with even greater care. As they prepare for the final confrontation, the dynamics of the case have fundamentally shifted. Emily's understanding of the stakes has deepened, and the line between friend and foe becomes increasingly blurred. The revelation of this hidden relationship not only changes the tactical approach to their mission, but also adds a poignant layer of human connection to their fight against the society's dark ambitions. The main character, Emily, along with Malcolm, Laura, and Gregory, gather in a secluded spot outside the town to piece together the various twists and turns they've uncovered. Emily spreads out all the documents, photographs, and diary entries they've collected, creating a visual map of the intricate web of connections and events. As they analyze the information, a moment of clarity begins to form. The group realizes that the twisted vine emblem not only represents the secret society, but also marks significant locations and events throughout Ravenswood's history. They identify patterns in the disappearances and rituals, understanding that each one was a step towards the society's ultimate goal of releasing the malevolent entity trapped within the artifact. Gregory adds valuable insights about the hidden passageways beneath the town, explaining how they've been used for centuries by society members to move undetected. This revelation helps the group see the town's layout in a new light, connecting seemingly unrelated locations and events into a cohesive narrative. Laura, using her great-grandmother's notes, identifies specific wards and symbols that can counteract the society's rituals. Her translations reveal that the protective measures taken by previous generations are still effective, giving the group a way to fight back. Malcolm's knowledge of investigative procedures helps streamline their findings. He suggests a timeline of key events, showing how the society's influence has ebbed and flowed over the years. They pinpoint the exact night of the next full moon as the society's planned date for the final ritual, just 2 days away. The moment of clarity dawns as Emily connects the dots between Thomas Carter, Mrs. Thornton, and Gregory. She realizes that their personal histories are intrinsically linked to the town's fate. Mrs. Thornton's dual role as both protector and manipulator was driven by a desperate need to keep her son safe while attempting to dismantle the society from within. This understanding adds depth to their mission, as they now see it as not just a fight against an abstract evil, but a deeply personal struggle for redemption. With this newfound clarity, the group formulates a final plan. They will use the hidden passageways to infiltrate the chapel, place the protective wards to disrupt the ritual, and expose the society's true nature to the townsfolk. Emily, Malcolm, Laura, and Gregory know that their combined knowledge and determination are their greatest strengths. As they prepare for the impending confrontation, the weight of their mission settles over them, but so does a sense of purpose. They are not just fighting for Ravenswood, they are fighting to honor the sacrifices of those who came before them and to protect future generations from the society's malevolent influence. The clarity they've achieved fuels their resolve, and they are ready to face whatever dangers lie ahead, united in their quest to uncover the truth and save the town from an ancient darkness. The final, most shocking twist that no one saw coming involves Emily uncovering that she herself is the direct descendant of the entity trapped within the artifact, making her both the key to its release and the ultimate weapon to keep it sealed. As Emily and the group make their way through the hidden passageways beneath Ravenswood, they stumble upon an ancient hidden chamber filled with inscriptions and relics far older than anything they've seen before. In the center of the chamber stands a pedestal on which rests the artifact, glowing faintly with a mysterious energy. As Emily approaches the artifact, she experiences a sudden, overwhelming flood of visions, glimpses of her ancestors, the formation of Ravenswood, and the society's dark rituals. The visions reveal a startling lineage that traces back to the very entity the society seeks to release. Emily's bloodline has been intertwined with this dark force for centuries, a secret kept from her by her own family to protect her and the world. The inscriptions in the chamber speak of a prophecy. A direct descendant of the entity would one day return to either free it or ensure its eternal containment. Emily realizes with a shock that she is this descendant, her very existence a balancing force between the entity and the world. Her body begins to emit a faint glow similar to the artifacts, indicating her intrinsic connection to it. This revelation not only shocks Emily, but also sends ripples of disbelief through Malcolm, Laura, and Gregory. They understand now that the entity's influence has subtly guided events, bringing Emily to Ravenswood at this crucial moment. The weight of her newfound identity presses heavily on her, knowing that she holds the power to determine the fate of the world. Mrs. Thornton, appearing from the shadows, confirms Emily's lineage, revealing that she had orchestrated events to bring Emily to this point, hoping to use her to control the entity. However, Mrs. Thornton underestimates Emily's resolve and strength. Emily, now aware of her pivotal role, channels her inner determination and the support of her friends. In an epic confrontation, Emily uses her connection to the artifact to activate the protective wards Laura discovered, neutralizing the ritual's dark energy. The chamber shakes with a violent force as Emily battles to seal the entity permanently. With Malcolm, Laura, and Gregory's unwavering support, she manages to contain the malevolent force within the artifact once and for all. This shocking twist Emily's lineage and her role as the key to both the entity's release and its containment resonates deeply, adding a profound layer of destiny and bravery to her journey. Their mission complete, the group emerges from the hidden chamber, forever changed by the revelation and their triumph over the ancient darkness threatening Ravenswood. The resolution of the case involves tying together all the insane twists, revealing how they are interconnected, and wrapping up the loose ends that have haunted Ravenswood for generations. Emily, now fully aware of her profound connection to the artifact and the entity it contains, takes a moment to gather her thoughts and address her companions. She explains that her lineage, intertwined with the entity's bloodline, was the critical puzzle piece they had been missing. The Society's attempts to control the town and its secrets were all part of a misguided effort to harness or release the dark power for their own gain. Mrs. Thornton's manipulations, though initially appearing self-serving, were ultimately driven by a blend of fear, love, and a desperate bid to protect her son and the town. Gregory's nightly wanderings and ambiguous actions stemmed from his conflicted loyalties, torn between his heritage and a genuine desire to end the Society's influence. His connection to Thomas Carter, Emily's ancestor, further highlights the intricate web of relationships that had bound them all together. Malcolm's relentless pursuit of the truth and Laura's deep historical knowledge were crucial in piecing together the Society's dark legacy and uncovering the true nature of the artifact. Each of their paths converged through a series of seemingly random but ultimately preordained events, guided by the latent power of the entity. As the dust settles, the group takes decisive actions to dismantle the Society's remaining power structures. Emily and Gregory lead efforts to expose the Society's deeds to the townsfolk, ensuring the town's future is no longer overshadowed by fear and secrecy. The loyalists to the Society are confronted and stripped of their influence, with the shocking revelations ensuring they can no longer operate from the shadows. Laura, feeling a profound sense of closure, dedicates herself to preserving her great-grandmother's legacy, restoring the historical society to its original purpose, protecting the town's true history, and ensuring the mistakes of the past are not repeated. Malcolm, vindicated and rejuvenated by their success, decides to stay in Ravenswood, helping to rebuild trust and justice within the community. Emily, now a beacon of hope and strength, ensures the artifact is securely hidden, its power contained and safeguarded by protective wards to prevent any future misuse. She pledges to continue her journalistic endeavors, using her experiences in Ravenswood to highlight the importance of truth and transparency. The case's resolution brings peace to Ravenswood, lifting the town from its shroud of mystery and allowing the residents to move forward without the burden of ancient secrets. The insane twists from Emily's lineage to Gregory's hidden identity and Mrs. Thornton's dual role are all connected through a tapestry of history, love, betrayal, and redemption. Emily's journey, fraught with peril and revelations, culminates in a newfound understanding of her own strength and the power of unity and truth. As the group stands together, reflecting on their arduous yet rewarding journey, Emily takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of her ancestors' legacy lifting. The town of Ravenswood is forever changed, its darkest secrets finally laid to rest, and its future shining brighter than ever before. Reflecting on the case's impact on the characters and the broader community, any lessons learned, it is clear that the events in Ravenswood have left indelible marks on everyone involved. For Emily, her journey from a curious journalist to the linchpin of a centuries-old prophecy has profoundly changed her. She not only uncovered the dark secrets of her own lineage, but also found the strength to confront and contain an ancient malevolent force. This experience has made her more resilient, perceptive, and deeply aware of the complexities of history and human nature. Her story becomes a testament to the power of courage, integrity, and the relentless pursuit of truth in the face of overwhelming adversity. Malcolm, once a disgraced detective seeking redemption, found a renewed sense of purpose and belonging through his collaboration with Emily, Laura, and Gregory. His investigative prowess and unwavering commitment played a crucial role in unraveling the town's mysteries and bringing the society to justice. The case has restored his faith in himself and his ability to make a difference, reminding him that the pursuit of justice often requires resilience and unwavering dedication, even in the face of personal and professional setbacks. Laura's journey has been one of rediscovering her family's legacy and finding her place within it. Her great-grandmother's cryptic diary entries and her own historical research provided key insights that were instrumental in their fight against the society. The resolution of the case gave Laura a sense of closure and fulfillment, knowing that she has honored her great-grandmother's memory and protected Ravenswood from further harm. This experience has taught her the importance of perseverance, the value of historical knowledge, and the lasting impact of familial bonds. Gregory's involvement revealed his complex struggle between loyalty to his mother, Mrs. Thornton, and his moral imperative to stop the society's nefarious plans. The revelation of his true parentage and his efforts to assist Emily and the group have shown him that true courage lies in confronting one's past and making choices that align with one's values, even when those choices are difficult. Gregory's journey underscores the importance of honesty, redemption, and the courage to change one's path. For the broader community of Ravenswood, the exposure of the secret society and the truth behind the town's eerie history marks a turning point. The townsfolk, once shrouded in fear and secrecy, now have the opportunity to rebuild their community on a foundation of transparency and trust. The collective efforts of Emily, Malcolm, Laura, and Gregory have shown the power of unity and collaboration in overcoming deeply entrenched darkness. The town's residents have learned that facing the past, no matter how unsettling, is essential for creating a brighter future. The case has also highlighted the importance of questioning the status quo, seeking truth, and standing up against corruption and manipulation. The lessons learned from this dark chapter in Ravenswood's history serve as a reminder that knowledge and vigilance are powerful tools in safeguarding a community's integrity and future. In summary, the impact of the Ravenswood case on the characters and the broader community is profound and multifaceted. Each character's personal growth, the strength of their bonds, and their unwavering commitment to uncovering the truth have not only saved the town but also set a powerful example of resilience, integrity, and unity. The lessons learned from their journey will resonate in Ravenswood for generations to come, ensuring that the shadows of the past no longer dictate the future. As the dust settles over Ravenswood, a town forever changed by the unwavering determination of Emily, Malcolm, Laura, and Gregory, we can't help but ponder the lingering questions that remain. What other secrets lie hidden beneath Ravenswood's cobblestone streets and Victorian houses? Could there be other artifacts or forces still undiscovered, waiting to either aid or challenge the town's newfound peace? And what of the ancient secret society? Have all its members been truly exposed, or are there still shadows lurking, biding their time until they can once again influence the town's fate? We also wonder about the full extent of Emily's lineage and her connection to the entity. Does her bloodline hold more secrets, perhaps even allies or adversaries who have yet to reveal themselves? What about the visions she experienced? Could they be precursors to future events or warnings of trials yet to come? And how has the containment of the entity truly affected her? Is the malevolent force really sealed for good, or did their actions merely postpone an inevitable resurgence? These questions lead us to consider the broader implications of the society's influence. Have other towns experienced similar dark legacies hidden from the public eye? Could there be a network of societies, each guarding or seeking to unleash different ancient forces? The idea that Ravenswood might be just one piece in a much larger puzzle is both thrilling and chilling. Finally, we reflect on the personal journeys of our main characters. Will Emily continue to uncover and expose hidden histories elsewhere, driven by her newfound sense of purpose and resilience? How will Malcolm, Laura, and Gregory rebuild their lives in a town free from the society's grip? Will their paths lead them back into mysteries and adventures as intricate as the one they've just survived? As we close the chapter on this tale of intrigue and redemption, we are left with a sense of both closure and curiosity. The story of Ravenswood has taught us that even in the darkest places, courage, unity, and the relentless pursuit of truth can illuminate the path forward. So, as you drift off to sleep, let these lingering questions and theories weave into your dreams, keeping the spirit of mystery and discovery alive until the next dark bedtime story. Now that we've unraveled the dark, twisted mysteries of Ravenswood and witnessed the bravery and determination of Emily, Malcolm, Laura, and Gregory, we want to hear from you. What do you think happened to the ancient secret society? Do you believe all its members were truly exposed? Could there still be hidden forces at play beneath Ravenswood's serene facade? And what about Emily's lineage? Do you think her connection to the artifact holds more secrets yet to be uncovered? Share your thoughts, theories, and any lingering questions you have in the comments below. We love hearing your insights and speculations. After all, in a tale as intricate as this, every detail matters. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the journey through Ravenswood's deepest secrets, and subscribe to our channel for more dark bedtime stories and mysterious cases that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We can't wait to dive into the next spine-chilling mystery with you. Sweet dreams, and remember, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. In summary, the case of Ravenswood was a labyrinth of secrets, dark legacies, and jaw-dropping twists that defied logic at every turn. From Emily's arrival in the enigmatic town to the chilling discoveries of a hidden society, the plot thickened with cryptic symbols, unexpected alliances, and personal revelations. The insane twists kept us on the edge of our seats, from the shocking lineage of Emily's bloodline to the revelation of Mrs. Thornton's true motives and the malevolent force contained within the ancient artifact. Each clue meticulously pieced together a story of danger, bravery, and the unyielding pursuit of truth. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the shadows of Ravenswood. Your engagement and passion for mystery make these stories come alive. Be sure to stay tuned for our next thrilling tale, where we'll dive into another case teeming with dark secrets and spine-chilling twists. Until then, sweet dreams, and remember, in the world of mystery, nothing is ever as it seems.